If you want to watch my first impressions of the Lancôme 2019 makeup set, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and I am so excited to bring you my first impressions of the Holiday Set 2019 from Lancôme. And specifically what I'm talking about is the makeup. I have 3 lipsticks here, I have the Hypnose mascara, I have the brush that came with, and I have no more hands, hang on. And I also have the palette, which is probably the star of the show today, and we will be using this for the first time. I have not used any of this makeup. The 2 makeup items that I've used from previous years, which is the Cils Booster XL, which is a primer I will not be using today. I definitely used it last year, and I will put right here my impressions of how was it for the kit last year, and you can see what my thoughts were for those products. The other product is the Khol, le Crayon Khol. I did not use it, or I'm not going to use it this year. Those 2 products I'm going to pass along because I have already determined my views on them. For the Cils Booster, I think it worked fine. I'm just not one to use mascara primers, so I will not be using that one. And the Khol liner, I would say it's an average Khol liner, not fantastic. And for the price of $30, I would probably suggest something like a Lise Watier or an Urban Decay creamier and more waterproof black liner than the Khol liner from Lancome. That's just my personal preference. But for these other products, I have not used them. And last year, the Lancome face palette and eyeshadow palette was head and shoulders above the equivalent from Elizabeth Arden. I preferred the Elizabeth Arden face palette because it was smaller and the products were pretty good. But when it came to the palettes in general, Lancome had a much better quality product, and the eyeshadows in the eyeshadow palette corresponded to products they actually have on offer the rest of the year. And the same thing was the case for the face palette, including the Blush Subtil, which is a flagship blush from the brand. So last year I was really impressed. So I have high expectations for this little guy. Now what is different this year is they've combined face and eyeshadow palette, and they've also added a mirror to the palette, which last year there wasn't one. And also the outside, it's now cardboard, and then the outside is very festive. And I prefer the cardboard packaging, to be frank. It's plastic on the inside here, but the outside looks like it is cardboard packaging. It feels like cardboard packaging, and it's that same kind of weight. Now, all right, so I'm just itching to get into these products, but I should tell you what is on my face. So what I did was I tried to use as many Lancome products as I could. Everything I will have on my face by the end of this will be in the description box below, including obviously what's already on it. I used a Smashbox Photo Finish primer. Then I used the Dual Finish from Lancome. And this is actually the product I bought last year to get the set. I'm pretty sure that's the one I bought to get the set. Anyway, it looks like this. It's a powder foundation, and it is not bad. It's got the mirror and a little fluff here, powder puff, I guess, to use. That's not what I used to apply it today. I used a Morphe brush, which is, it's the M439 if you care, but that's what I used to apply it. I'd never used this combination before, and I liked it. It's light coverage, but it works for me. But I mean, I didn't wet it or try to intensify the coverage. It was plenty for my purposes. For concealer, I used the NYX CW01 just under my eyes and around my nose. And the only place I used a powder that wasn't a Lancome powder was under my eye to set my eye concealer. And that was the Hourglass Veil because it's very finely milled, and I felt more comfortable than trying anything else. Now I should probably have used this one. I also have the translucent powder from Lancome, and that one comes with a puff and it looks like this. And this one is translucent. They have different types. I like the powder products from Lancome. The dual finish I've had for years. I like it. This one is newer to me, but I remember using it last year and I quite liked it as well. I did use, actually I'm lying because I did use this powder to set my eye primer. So my eye primer was the Urban Decay, or is the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and I used this with a crease brush to just set the rest of my eye. If you're wondering what is in my brows, it is the Anastasia Brow Wiz in medium brown with the ABH or Anastasia Clear Brow Gel over top. I'm looking at my face here. The only other thing I can think of is I am wearing a clear gloss from Wet n Wild because my lips were screaming. And as I'm doing my eye makeup, I will not be distracted by them, and we will cover or replace that clear gloss with one of the 3 lipsticks that I have on hand. Oh, all right, now we're going to get into the products. I have one more thing to tell you. I have the Urban Decay Zero Black eyeliner on my upper waterline so that you can actually see my eyes because they get a little lost when I'm just a uniform color of beige. And, geez, I keep forgetting everything. I did use the Butter Bronzer to give myself a little bit of color on the periphery and here as well. Okay, now I'm done. So we are going to go into that palette, and I'm going to do my darndest to use this double-ended brush that came with the kit. Now I'm very excited about this palette. I'm more excited with the color selection than last year. Last year there were 8 shadows, this time there are 10, and last year there were 4 face products, and this time there are 2, and the 2 are definitely blushes. Last year it was 2 bronzers, 2 blushes. I'm okay with that because bronzers, depending on skin tone, blushes you can build up, you can do different things, but bronzers, I think it's either they work or they don't. Now what am I going to do as a look? I really want to play with that color right there. It just looks so cool. Here's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to use this shadow just for starters, and then move into the red and the pink. And then maybe use, I might even use this color as a brow bone. I'm not sure, either this one or this one. We'll pick one, I think, when we get further into it. But I think that that is going to work. Now, for the crease, this brush is not going to work for me for the crease. This is more of a packer brush. So I'm going to go into my stash of brushes and pick a crease brush. I'm going to go lightly in. So I'm going to use this BH Cosmetics brush. It is the Pro, I never remember, Pro 5, Pro Studio, Studio Pro 5. And we're going to go, as I mentioned, into this one right here. And let's see, there, it's okay, so it's a matte. It's pretty powdery, but that doesn't bother me. I'm just mentioning it in case it bothers you. And put some on the brush, and let's get right into it. That is really smooth. Now, for some reason, my eyes are foggy. That is really smooth. Did I? Oh. My eyes are not foggy. There's a plastic on the mirror. Let me just do this for you guys. You can tell it's a new palette. There you go. Yeesh. Oh my goodness, I can see myself now. All right. I really like how it is applying, so let's do a little bit more. I'm going to go again on the same eye. Now I did prime and powder my eye. I'm not saying that that would be necessary for this palette. It's a habit that tends to be how I do my eyeshadow, and I just felt like doing that today. I think that looks pretty good, don't you? Okay, let me do the other eye. I will speed it up for you, and then let's get into the burgundies and pinks. Okay, I did both eyes and I can say there's no fallout on either side. It looks pretty good in my opinion. I'm going to go in with a smaller crease brush and I'm going to pick up this nice burgundy shade here. And I just want to put a little bit into the crease and outer lid, and then I'll deepen it up later. So this is how much I've put on. And again, outer lid and into the crease. Okay, it looks buildable. I think I'm used to very, very pigmented eyeshadows. And so I ease my way in with a crease brush first, but it looks like I'll be able to go and pack the color on here. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pack the color on. So I'm going to go in with the Lancôme brush and let's see how it goes. So I'm putting it on to one side. And I'm going to go in with my finger because I want to intensify the color. So I'm using my ring finger. Oh, that's pretty. And let's put some more. Oh yeah, that works quite nicely. Let's put some more pigment on here. That looks quite pretty. I'll put some just on the lower lash line. Okay, so just finish that off here. Okay, so I have a little bit of fallout now. Where's that brush? There it is. It's right in my hand. I'm just going to wipe off the fallout. And that came from the brown. I didn't see it earlier, but apparently I had some fallout. Okay, now that we have the red, or the burgundy, I'm going to go in, I'm not going to go into the pink. I think I'm going to go in, with this color right here. It's kind of a sparkly beige. It's a shimmer for sure, beige shimmer. And let me just see what it looks like on the finger. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's gonna work. Don't know if you can see it on camera here. Come on, focus. There we go. My hands are dry, but I think you can see the shimmer, and I think that's what I'm going to do on the inner lid. So we're going for a very wearable look today. Because I don't think that anybody getting the Lancôme holiday set is expecting some vivids and brights. And anybody who knows this channel knows that I do not shy away from color, but I wanted to give you a fair view of what would be possibly a typical look with this palette. Okay, and this is looking pretty good. I'm going to go back in with the pink and just, I went a little bit far over, with what looks like almost like a sandy peach. Okay, I think that looks better. And I'm debating here. I am kind of inclined to go in with the deep purple on the very, very outer lid. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I just need to wipe off my finger here and see if we can just intensify the outer lid a little bit. And I am talking about a little bit. So I have my finger clean now. I'm going to go into the purple That's what it looks like. It's very pretty. Okay, and I'm going to go, like I said, just on the outer lid. Okay, and I have a little bit more fallout on this one, but I think that I didn't quite put it up high enough on my finger. And so a lot of it fell off because of the positioning. Usually I don't have that much fallout with finger application. Okay, let's just see if I can dust some of this off. I went too far over the pink. I like what that did. It just kind of deepened the outer lid, and I think it looks pretty good, and I just need to wipe off the fallout. So like I said, this is a bit more fallout than I'm used to when I'm doing finger application. And I'm going to go in with the finger again, just on that lower line. I have quite a bit of fallout here. I'll have to fix that. But I'm just going to go in and get a little bit of a deeper bottom outer lid because I'd want them to match. Oh yeah, there we go. That looks better. If you're going to go for the deeper colors, at least the shimmers, I would strongly suggest putting powder or a barrier under your eye because right now I look like I've got a bruise, at least in the viewfinder. So that will be something that I need to fix. And now let's go into a brow bone highlight, and I think I am inclined to go back into this kind of beigey peach and do the brow bone with that. And I'm going to go in with the clean side of this little brush to go and do the brow bone. It is very shimmery. Okay, I'm going to replicate the other eye in fast forward, and then we will talk about blush. All right, I am back. So I had to clean up my under eye. I actually had to take off the dual finish and start over because I had a big black mark here. I don't know if it showed that much. Now, some of my concealer got wiped off, whatever. It's not, you know, we are who we are, and I was not about to start my whole face makeup again. But I rarely ever do my eye makeup first, but I think in using this palette, I probably would suggest that because I found the deep purple, I guess if you're using the deep colors, the brown wiped off, no problem. The kind of beigey pink wiped off, no problem. But this guy, whew, left quite a mess. All right, now I want to go into a liner color, and I am really debating. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the espresso brown on the upper lash line and also on the outer to inner. We'll see how far I go with the lower lash line. And for that purpose, I'm going to use this Essence itty bitty little brush, and I find it works super, super well. So I'm going to use that to align both the upper and lower lash line, as I mentioned. Going into that espresso color. There's no name, I'm just calling it espresso color. And let's see how this goes for lining. So far, so good. When a matte works well for lining, you know you've got a good matte. And so far, I'm very happy with the matte brown and now the matte deep espresso from the palette. Just going along the lash line. I think you can really see the difference between the two eyes. So I'm going to speed up on the other eye, and then we'll take care of the lower lash line. Okay, now the lower lash line. Okay, I'll intensify up above because I think that it's dragging the eye down a little bit too much now. So I'll just try to not wing it out, but build it a little thicker onto the outside of the eye. I think that's better. And speeding up on the other side now. Okay, I think that's pretty darn close. I'm just going to use this trusty brush to just clean up underneath here. For any extra little bit of color that we don't want. And I'm going to use my brush for setting my under eye to wipe off any of the fallout. And that way there's a little bit of powder left on the brush, and I'm less likely to smudge anything. Okay, I don't think this is half bad. I have maybe a little bit too much liner right here. But apart from that, it's pretty good. Not too intense of a look. I think it's reasonable. So let's see what happens when we put mascara on, because that is the second last step, because we have mascara and then we have lipstick. And for mascara, I'm going to be using the Hypnose mascara by Lancome, and it has powder on it. And so it says, oh, Hypnose Drama is what it says on here, if you can read it. So let's take a look at the wand. And here it is. So it's a bit curved. And so I'm going to attempt to use that in the sideways and this way. The bristles of the brush are quite different. So that is something to note. I do like the curving of the wand though, that's for sure. Let's see how this goes. It definitely defines the lashes, that's for sure. It's not very thickening, which is probably why it comes with the Cils Booster XL. It's very black, I like that. Let's just try to intensify this first coat here. Not huge on doing a lot of mascara on my lower lashes, but I will try. Okay, so there is the first coat on the one side. Let's have trouble doing mascara on the other side. I always think I'm going to get my nose. Just watch, I'll do it today. I tend to prefer a skinny wand when I'm doing lower lashes. If you're Canadian, the Annabelle Skinny Mascara, which I'm always using on this channel, is my preference. We are going to go for a second coat on the upper lashes. I have really long lower lashes, so I don't tend to put 2 coats on those. I'm already removing mascara when I'm doing the first coat, so I don't think I want a second coat on them. I admire Mel Thompson. She owns the length of her lower lashes. I'm just a little bit more timid. I'm all for volume and length on the upper lashes, but not my lower lashes. I always feel like I look like a Pierrot, one of those French clowns. Okay, the volume certainly builds more on the second coat. I really see that quite a bit. All right, let me do just a tiny bit of cleanup on the eye with a Q-tip, and I will be right back. So I want to be completely transparent here. Here's what I was using. It's a little Q-tip with a very fine tip. If you have trouble getting that little bit of black or brown that accumulates on the inner corner of your eye with a regular Q-tip, I highly recommend these. You can get them from Shoppers Drug Mart, you can get them from Sephora, you can get them online, I'm sure. But the tip is fine enough that you can get into the corner and not mess up your makeup. So that's what I was cleaning up. And now for the lipstick. I have 3 of them. Pretty sure I know which one I'm going to use. There is the Deep Plum, which is called Wine Party. It's a cream color. And this one is Natural Beauty. It's another cream lipstick. And the third one is called Racy, and it is a matte. So for the eye look that we have today, I'm going to go, I think, for the first one, which is this guy. Again, it is 378 Wine Party. I think this is the one I'm going to wear, and I've never ever touched it, so that's going to be interesting. We'll see how it goes without a lip brush or anything. And these are, by the way, full-size lipsticks. Now, let's see how it goes. It's always easier when a lipstick is brand new, right? I didn't wipe off the lip gloss, but I don't think I had very much left. All right, here is the final look with the lipstick. Not a perfect application. But we're going to call it an application. All right, so here we go. The only thing, you know what we forgot? And by we, I mean I forgot to put blush. But now that we have the lipstick, it'll be easier to pick a blush, right? So for the final little bit of icing on the cake, we will do blush. And given how rosy I've gone, I'm inclined to use the peach blush because we have kind of a peachy cream on the inner lid. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the peach blush. And I have just cleaned off this brush because that is obviously the brush that came with the palette. It's meant to be used with the blush. So I'm going to dip right into that peach blush, tap off the excess. This is what I've got, and let's give it a go. Let's go a little bit more. So obviously buildable. And now for the other side. A little bit more. I think that looks okay. The only thing that I would change in what I did with my application today, other than what I talked about with the deep purple, is that I would definitely line my lips before putting that lipstick on. It's just not as even as I would like, and it's a very creamy formula, and so I think that a lip liner is advised. But I'm not mad at this look. I think this palette performed perfectly fine. There are some palettes that have a lot of fallout. This one, I would argue, has a reasonable amount of fallout to be concerned about. So please use the precautions that you would use, or do your face makeup afterwards. But I think it's a very appropriate set of colors for the holidays. I think that's great. And the colors are all very wearable, and I would say very work appropriate. So I'm pretty happy with this palette so far, but this is a first impressions. So that is just the first time I will have to use this palette a number of additional times to be able to give my absolute thoughts on this palette. This is, like I said, just a first impressions, which is why I am going to be doing a brand new focus with all of the products that you saw me display today. So the palette, the lipsticks, what am I missing? And the mascara. So I'll be using these products quite a bit over the next few weeks and then reporting back with my final thoughts on the makeup aspect of this 2019 holiday set by Lancome. I hope you will stay tuned for that, and I do look forward to reporting back. But yeah, that's the first impression. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would really appreciate hearing your thoughts. And that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.